Hi, my name is Ann Edenfield-Sweet. I'm the Executive Director and founder of Wings. And I am so thrilled that you're with us tonight because we are in for a treat. First of all, Marty Wolfe is on staff with us, and we are so thrilled that she is on staff with us because listen to her bio. She has worked for a Fortune 100 company, did over 200 events a year in Europe and all across the United States, setting up huge trade shows. Then she was a senior vice president of a trade show company. Then she was senior vice president of an infomercial company. So that's why she's so good at TV ads and radio ads and things like that. And then president of a high-tech skincare company. And that sounds very interesting to me. I need to know more about that. And then, of course, she came to Albuquerque, and she has her own consulting company. And now she is working with Wings. So, boy, are we in for a treat. But what she's going to talk to us about tonight is the various colors of our personality. And I can't wait to hear all about this because we are going to learn how to work together better in the office, with our spouses, with our children, with our friends, neighbors, whatever. So help me welcome Marty Wolfe.
Thank you so much, Anne. I am so happy to be here, and I will tell you that I haven't had as much fun in a long time as in my work as I've been having with Wings, and I'm learning to just love our returning citizens who are becoming my besties. I tell all my friends that all my best friends now are former inmates, and I love every one of them. Anyway, tonight we're going to talk about something that may help you change your life and your relationships. At least I hope it does, because the more we understand about ourselves and the more we understand about those in our lives, the better we will be. And it's called color personality. There are 4 core personality types created by a very determined woman who was born way too early to have the kind of career she deserved. But she found a way to create scientific research in her living room. And you'll learn a little bit more about that. So let's move on. Okay, so there are 4 core identified personalities in the color spectrum. Green thinks and creates, gold builds and organizes, orange takes action, and blue relates and cares. So the woman that was behind all of this, Catherine Cook, she was born in 1875. She was brilliant. She went to college at age 14, graduated #1 in her class, and she wanted to continue her studies and become a scientist. But in those days, very few women in the world were really allowed to be scientists. So she wound up marrying the guy that turned out to be #2 in her class. I wonder kind of how that worked out in the marriage, Mr. Briggs, and she decided that she was going to just settle in and be a wife and a mother. She had 1 daughter, and you can see on the screen when they were younger and then in their older years. And she and her daughter wound up working together. When her daughter went to school, she was very lonely, and she decided to start a study on her own. So very cleverly, she made her living room a lab. She invited all the neighbors' kids to come. She sort of had a preschool, but a very different kind of preschool, in that she was studying these children. And she started developing all sorts of matrices, studies, and so forth, looking at their personalities, how they interacted, how they could be identified as 4 core personalities. So when her daughter grew up and joined her, and they worked for actually decades on this particular project. So her living room became her lab. The neighborhood children came. she monitored, and they wound up producing what is called the Myers-Briggs personality profile. Now, when she did that, she was very anxious for it to be accepted in the scientific community. However, because it hadn't been peer-reviewed and it hadn't been done in a scientific environment, the fairly snobby scientific community said, well, it didn't really matter and it really wasn't important. However, it wound up actually being a standard for many, many, many different approaches to learning about people. And her Myers-Briggs basically says that everybody has a core personality. It's the most you that you will ever be. Almost everybody has some part, large or small, of every other color in their personality. And by the way, there are all sorts of sub-colors and sub-approaches to this. But for tonight, we're just going to look at the 4 core personalities. The interesting thing about learning about yourself is that you can use that information to look at the positives and the not so positives about each color, because each of these color personalities has good and bad. And you can also learn to add some of the traits of the other personalities to your personality to become a more fully realized person. Let's look at the particular elements of the various color personalities. Greens are the thinkers. They're deep thinkers. They want to solve problems. They want to make a world a better place. Learning is a real pleasure. These are the people that may be sitting up in the library late at night studying. They have incredible self-control. They go to great lengths to hide their feelings behind this sort of very sometimes off-putting approach that greens can have. Their feelings are very deep, and their world is ruled by logic. To describe them, one would say they are visionary, they are conceptual, they are inquisitive, they are logical, complex, intellectual, creative, and practical. You can see here some of the famous greens. Perhaps you look at this list and say, oh, I kind of recognize that in that individual. Bill Gates, I can sure see how he could have been green, for sure. Steven Spielberg, very green, one of the most creative greens around. But this is really the core green personality, which is always going to be colored by other colors if you are a healthy green. Golds. Golds are very, very, very structured people. They are straightforward, they're not into games, they have a very strong work ethic, they really follow the rules, and they pretty much expect everybody else to. You will learn later about a personality that drives them crazy because it's about as unstructured as golds are structured. They see the world pretty much in black and white and not a lot of gray shades. They are decisive, money-driven, achieving, detail-oriented, structured, responsible, hard workers, prepared, and more. So let's look at who might be described as famous golds. Winston Churchill, who brilliantly executed World War II and brought England back into safety. Henry Ford, the guy that invented the first automobile. Margaret Thatcher, President George H.W. Bush, which I knew, by the way, and Walter Cronkite, probably the most respected newsman to ever be on air. So golds don't want to be rushed. They don't want anybody messing things up. If you've ever had a gold parent or a personality with a teacher or a worker, you will know that they really have to have order in their lives, and they're very organized, and they are a very valuable member of any community, because we've got to be organized and we need people who see the details. As far as what goals may do in life, some are teachers. Within a family, they may be the person that handles the family finances. They may be lawyers. But one way to look at it is that they are the people that kind of clean up after the rest of us. Oranges are the people that drive the golds crazy, okay? Because oranges are very unstructured. They're movers and shakers. They jump into things without really thinking about the possible problems. They thrive on risk. But risks, when not carefully considered, can also result in some really negative results. We can all think about when the orange in us kind of got us into situations that we may now regret. And think about your orange personality. Has that orange personality been a positive thing, or is it not as kind of contained as needed to keep you from perhaps making a lot of mistakes? Oranges, though, are the real visionaries who get out there and start major companies. They can be presidents: Bill Clinton, Elvis Presley, Muhammad Ali, Tom Cruise, Magic Johnson, Sylvester Stallone. These are people who had very strong orange personalities. And when orange is really in a positive place, it is one of the strongest personalities and the one that keeps things moving in life. Blues are the caretakers of the world. They love people, they have huge hearts, and are very giving of their time and their energy and their money and their love. They're involved in caring professions like medicine, education, and for some people, they enter politics because they want to help change the world. If you think about some of the people that are in public life right now, whether they're in companies that are giving greatly to society, or whether they're politicians who are doing everything possible to make sure that people are cared for, or whatever they do, blues are exemplary people who really, truly care. Sometimes they're taken advantage of by other personalities. Sometimes blues can really be treated by others as though they're somehow weak, that they're not strong. The reality is that blues are some of the strongest people in the world, because in order to shoulder all of the burdens of all of the people out there that they care for, you have to have pretty broad shoulders. I want to talk to you a little bit about who we are. So you've just had a little bit of a taste of what the personalities really are defined as. And I want you to start thinking about who you are. What is the strongest part of your personality? Is it to be a green, a gold, an orange, or a blue? If you've been following the descriptions, I hope that you may have had time to write down a few things about yourself and maybe help yourself identify what exactly you feel you are, your strongest, your core personality. The truth is that every one of us has pieces of all four personalities. There is a rare time when you will find people who do not have four pieces of the personalities. If you found yourself as a gold person, for example, You're very organized. You're probably extremely frustrated with others that is not organized. Check down deep. See if you can find something in orange that might do. Maybe doing something totally outside the box, like attending a concert of music that is very different from anything you would normally care to listen to. Try new foods. Try new outfits, something that you would never dream of wearing, but check it out, see. Or if you are a parent, try to look at your children's personalities and see how you can better interact with them, utilizing the strengths of your personality and recognizing the strengths of their personality. We can all be more understanding and more caring of each other when we don't want to dominate with our own personalities. If you're one of those high energy, high maintenance orange people, how about trying something blue in your behavior? Instead of needing to be the center of everything and overwhelm those who are not strong in their orange component, maybe you can encourage someone to get out of their caring about everything personality and try letting you take care of them. Oranges could be a lot kinder to blues in our world. What about if you're a strong green? Your drive to explore, to expand, to create is highly, highly satisfying. However, the discipline is critical. Maybe you could explore your orange side too. Maybe you can get a little crazy and buy something, do something, go somewhere that is not in your very structured world. It might make you start to understand orange people better. It might make you better understand that you could bring more gold and organization into your life and not drive everybody crazy with, the fact that you have finished things because you're so busy running on to the next thing that's exciting to do. There's a lot of ways that we can look at others' personalities and learn from them. And there's a lot of ways that we can be better people in our lives. I want to talk to you a little bit about how I got involved with the core personalities, because it was a very interesting kind of journey for me, and I learned a great deal by doing that. And forgive me because my papers got a little screwed up here. When I moved to California, moved to Orange County, California, I learned about a company called True Colors. And it was a company that was teaching color personality, but translating the very formal Myers-Briggs into a fun kind of experience. It was meant to be lighthearted, it was meant to be fun, but it also had a lot of basis to it, of being able to identify yourself. There were all sorts of fun examples. There were all kinds of exercises that we did. I took the training and was licensed to teach it. And then I developed something called Colorgistics, which is a program about basically familial and other relationships, how couples interact, how you interact with your children, and so forth, and how to work together for the best outcomes. The thing that was important about that was that it changed my life in that I started seeing myself in each one of these. I had been pretty low orange. I started working on being more spontaneous. I was very high gold. I started being less structured. We all can find these things in ourselves and start to really say, I could grow, I could be more than I am right now, I could be a better person, I could be a better friend, a better spouse, a better parent, a better worker, if I perhaps open myself up to the idea of adding some other colors to my personality. The thing that is hardest to do, I think, for all of us is change. We don't like change very much. And I think that we want to sort of be comfortable. The value of understanding personality is that it can make a huge difference in your relationships with family, friends, employers, and pretty much everyone with whom you interact. How often have you said, why can't whoever be more like me? Why doesn't my husband, wife, boss, friend understand me? Why is my kid so different from me? I just don't understand him or her. Learning about the different personalities, and none are wrong, none are the right one, can totally change your relationships, your family, and your life. The facts are these. Every core personality is special. Every core personality has strengths and weaknesses. Our challenge is to bring out those strengths, minimize the weaknesses in ourselves, and our bigger challenge is to better understand those in our lives and help create a sense of harmony with all personalities. Let's all keep working to improve ourselves and support those who are trying to do the same. I didn't have a timer.
Okay, well, I thought you were going to be able to say more there, Marty. But anyway, well, that's so interesting. I was so busy taking notes that I was busy writing things down here, and I don't know. I think I tend to be more of a blue, but then I saw a little orange, I saw a little gold, a little green. I don't know. Yes, we should be all of those things, I think, and the more that we understand about each other, the better off we're going to be. So anyway, just if you want more information about that, first of all, you can go onto our website, and we have a wonderful placemat here that has all kinds of information about the different colors, so you can print that off. And then it does have some manners. So here, let me go over some of the manners here regarding colors and personality. Be polite to people, regardless of their personality type. Of course, we should be polite to everybody, right? But we should look for the gifts that each of those strong personality types bring to the mix. Then try to see other people's perspective. And boy, that sometimes is a challenge, isn't it? But if we could try to understand where are they coming from, if they are a really strong orange or yellow or a green or whatever they are, what could be their perspective? And the more that we listen, the more we're going to broaden our perspective, aren't we? Then try to treat all personality types equally. Well, of course, because everybody has value and we need to learn from each other, right? And then respect others and appreciate their differences. And we just did something like this in our office not long ago, and it really was fun because it helped me especially, to understand different people's personality types and how they react to different things, and to have me appreciate them and to be able to try to listen and understand where are they coming from? Where did that come from? Because if they've got that perspective, we all want the best for wings. Let's utilize all of those perspectives to make them work together. So anyway, that was really fun, and I hope that wherever you are, that you might utilize this information the same way. Now, we also have something fun for your children. So if your children are saying, well, I'd like to know more about these personality types, we've got a fun little game here, and of course the colors, and something for them to take and look at too, because I think it would be fun for me to sit down with my boys and kind of go over and say, okay, boys, this is what I think you are. What do you think you are? And so I think that could be a really fun family exercise. Now, next week, we have a wonderful speaker. His name is Lawrence Castillo, and Lawrence does a radio show, a syndicated radio show about finance. And actually, I had heard him for years and finally decided to call, never dreaming that he was in Albuquerque, and he was. And so now we've got him to be a speaker next week. So he's a motivational speaker, but he's going to talk to us about money and about the things that are important, about commitment and and trust in people. And all of these things go into sales, which he does sales and tries to help people be wise with their money. So that should be a great program next week. Now, I've got a fun story here, and this is the rainbow, and it's based on a Native American legend. And I thought we needed to have a story about colors, so here you go. So, once upon a time, the colors of the world started to quarrel, all claiming that they were the best, the most important, the most useful, and the favorite. Now, green said, "Clearly, I am the most important. I am the sign of life and of hope. I was chosen for the grass and the trees and the leaves. Without me, all the animals would die. Look over the countryside, and you will see that I am the majority." Now, blue interrupted. "You think only about the earth, but consider the sky and the sea. It is the water that is the basis of life and drawn up from the clouds from the deep sea. The sky gives space and peace and serenity. Without my peace, you will be nothing." Now, yellow chuckled. "You all are so serious. I bring laughter and gaiety and warmth into the world. The sun is yellow, the moon is yellow, and the stars are yellow. Every time you look at the sunflower, the whole world starts to smile. Without me, there would be no fun." Now, orange started next to blow her trumpet. "I am the color of health and strength. I may be scarce, but I am precious, for I serve the needs of human life. I carry the most important vitamins. Think of the carrots and the pumpkins, oranges, mangoes, and papayas. I don't hang around all the time, but when I fill the sky at sunrise or sunset, my beauty is so striking that no one gives another thought to any of you." Now, red could stand it no longer. Red shouted out, "I am the ruler of you all. I am blood, life's blood. I am the color of danger and bravery. I am willing to fight for a cause. I bring fire into blood. Without me, the earth would be as empty as the moon. I am the color of passion and of love, the red rose, the poinsettia, and the poppy." Now, purple rose up to its full height. He was very tall and spoke with great pomp. "I am the color of royalty and power. Kings, chiefs, and bishops have always chosen me, for I am the sign of authority and wisdom. People do not question me. They listen and obey." Well, finally, Indigo spoke, much more quietly than all the others, but with just as much determination. "Think of me. I am the color of silence. You hardly notice me, but without me, you all would become superficial. I represent thought and reflection, twilight and deep water. You need me for balance and contrast, for prayer and inner peace." And so the colors went on boasting, each convinced of his or her superiority. Their quarreling became louder and louder, and suddenly there was a flash of bright lightning. Thunder rolled and boomed, and rain started to pour down relentlessly. The colors crouched down in fear, drawing close to one another for comfort. Well, in the midst of the clamor, rain began to speak. "You foolish colors, fighting amongst yourselves, each trying to dominate the rest? Don't you know that you were each made for a special purpose, unique and different? Join hands with one another and come to me." Doing as they were told, the colors united and joined hands. The rain continued. "From now on, when it rains, each of you will stretch across the sky in a great bow of colors as a reminder that you can live in peace. The rainbow is a sign of hope for tomorrow." And so, when a good rain washes the world and the rainbow appears in the sky, let us remember to appreciate one another. So, no matter what color we are, and we're only listing 4. Marty only gave us 4, but now we know there are many others too. We are all part of that beautiful rainbow. And all of us are unique and special. And when we come to understand who we are, and then how, as Marty gave us examples, how we could expand who we are to try to blend in some of those other colors, just think of ourselves working to become that beautiful rainbow. So thanks for being with us tonight. If you are with us on Facebook or YouTube, this is the end of the program. If you are with us with Zoom, stay right here, because we're going to go right into breakout rooms, and then you'll have a chance to talk to each other about what colors you are. I want you to think about, what color are you? What's your primary color? And then what did you learn tonight from Marty's talk? So thanks for being with us. Hope you'll join us next week, Monday, 6 o'clock, Mountain Time. See you then. Bye-bye. Have a great night.